Easy. Easy. Too, too easy. It's too easy. Too easy. At 48, too easy.
Floyd Mayweather recently broke his silence in an interview about a possible fight with Terence Crawford. He openly stated that he has the skills and the right tools to beat the three-time undisputed champion, even though many believe Crawford is in his prime. Floyd admitted that there have been real conversations behind the scenes about the matchup, and he doesn't think it should be ruled out. He went on to say the idea excites him because it represents more than just another payday, it's an opportunity to prove himself once again in the spotlight.
And another where he felt like he was at a disadvantage when he had a rehydration clause and he was younger. So, I don't know. I don't go off of that. Floyd is the best fighter, in his era. And I feel like I'm the best fighter in mine.
Who says no to 51-0? I've seen the holes in his game and I know what to do about him. That's why I want the fight. It's a money and legacy fight.
For the stack, did you in your head size up Floyd? You know what I'm saying? If we was ever keep it real, boss, keep it real.
I'm never that type of guy.
Floyd then made a bold statement, asking, who would say no to being 51-0? He insisted that he studied Crawford carefully and has spotted weaknesses in his game. According to Floyd, he knows exactly how to exploit those openings and would have a plan ready. He stressed that this isn't only about earning money, but about protecting his legacy and showing the world why he's still regarded as one of the greatest fighters of all time.
Is Canelo washed up now at 35 years old?
I don't know. Boxing is a lot of wear and tear on the body. Maybe so.
At the same time, rumors about this fight continue to spread. What makes it even more interesting is that Floyd hasn't denied them. Fans began calling Crawford the GOAT after he beat Canelo Alvarez, and since then Floyd has been hinting at the idea of facing him. This shows Floyd is keeping a close eye on how fans react, and he clearly doesn't want to be left out of the conversation about boxing's all-time greats.
Using what he got to shield him. He got a lot of security guards around him, and he's in the limelight and stuff like that, but in certain situations, he wouldn't be acting like that.
Do you like him as a fighter, though?
Yeah, he's a damn good fighter.
Yeah.
But, his core personality and his weight.
For Mayweather, this new wave of praise for Crawford doesn't sit well. One major reason is that Floyd himself never achieved undisputed status, while Crawford has already done it across 3 different weight classes. To make matters worse for Floyd, Crawford hasn't shown much interest in a fight. Bud has said a matchup with Mayweather would only bring him easy money, making it clear he doesn't see Floyd as a real challenge at this stage of his career.
Who do you think wins in a fight, you or Prime Floyd?
Me?
No questions?
Why would you think that I would say Floyd?
I don't know. I thought you'd hesitate maybe even a bit, but no.
Nah, not at all. That's one of my favorite fighters.
Feeling pressured, Floyd decided to directly call out Crawford. He claimed he wasn't just doing this because of fan demand, but also because 2 of his past opponents had publicly said Crawford was better than him. To a fighter with Floyd's pride and achievements, that felt like a serious insult. In a since-deleted tweet, he even posted about a possible clash, calling it a battle of the GOATs. But when Crawford finally responded, his reaction was not encouraging at all, leaving Floyd disappointed.
That you would take a professional bout in the future after Mike, or is that off the table?
It's on it. It's on it. It's been talks. It's possible.
Okay, so not totally against that possibility.
That lack of interest from Crawford fueled Floyd's frustration and made him double down. He went as far as to claim he's greater than both Canelo Alvarez and Mike Tyson. Floyd argued that they both lost their big fights just to secure huge paydays, Canelo against Crawford and Tyson against Jake Paul. He also suggested Canelo didn't give his best effort, saying he could have thrown more punches but chose not to. These comments immediately caused debate, especially since Floyd and Crawford had always maintained a friendly relationship.
When I looked at it, he came out in the southpaw stance and he took Canelo's jab away from him. As you know, if you take a fighter's jab away from them, then it's hard for them to really land. You force them to use one shot, and he forced them to use his backhand, his rear hand. Crawford was ready for the loop in the right hands. Crawford.
Of course, debates in boxing never stop, and the comparison between Mayweather and Crawford is now one of the hottest topics. Some believe Crawford has already surpassed Floyd, while others strongly disagree. Even respected names like Shane Mosley, who lost to Floyd on points 15 years ago, have joined in. Mosley admitted he thinks Crawford might actually be the better fighter, adding more fuel to the ongoing conversation.
Who you think's better out of those two, Crawford or Mayweather?
I think Crawford is better, bigger. He's actually he moved in weight class, and I would say Crawford is a better fight all around fighter.
Speaking to Fight Hub TV, Shane Mosley explained his opinion further. He said he believes Crawford is not only more skilled but also naturally bigger, stronger, and willing to move up in weight classes. Mosley still gave credit to Floyd, calling him very talented, but insisted Crawford's size, reach, and all-around ability would give him an advantage. He admitted it would have been a tough fight, but in his view, Crawford would likely edge out Mayweather.
If you can, compare and contrast the fight between yourself and Floyd Mayweather Jr. and tonight's bout with Terence "Bud" Crawford, if you can.
No, I think Crawford is way better than Floyd Mayweather.
The conversation around Crawford's victory over Canelo Alvarez has completely changed the boxing landscape. Fans and experts across the globe are now debating if this win makes Crawford the greatest fighter of all time. His dominant performance has put him at the top of the pound-for-pound rankings once again, and many argue it was a historic moment. What made it even more shocking was Canelo's own reaction after the fight. During the post-fight press conference, he admitted that Crawford was the better fighter and even suggested that Crawford had surpassed Floyd Mayweather.
How did that feel to hear that from someone like him?
I just was like, well, it's his personal opinion. He was in the ring with both of us, so a lot of people, they can say what they want, but he's actually been in the ring with both of us. One where he felt like he was at the best.
As well by just pivoting, on an angle and, making Canelo reach. There were spots inside the ring that I saw Crawford, try to.
That kind of statement carried massive weight because Canelo had already shared the ring with both Mayweather and Crawford. For him to come out immediately after losing and say Crawford is better than Floyd showed either incredible humility or a genuine belief that Crawford is truly on another level. These comments instantly lit a fire in the boxing community. Some people pointed to Crawford's willingness to move through multiple divisions and face tough opponents, while others defended Mayweather by saying his flawless 50-0 record is proof enough of his superiority. Crawford himself later explained that Canelo's opinion came from his personal experience, since he had fought both men.
Who do you think wins in a fight, you or Prime Floyd?
Me.
No questions?
Why would you think that I would say Floyd?
I don't know. I thought you'd hesitate maybe even a bit, but no.
Nah.
As with many debates in boxing, there may never be a clear winner in the discussion of who is greater, Floyd or Crawford. The reality is that both men are unbeaten champions, both held titles across different weight classes, and both are guaranteed a spot among the all-time greats. But that hasn't stopped trainers and insiders from taking sides. Crawford's longtime coach Brian McIntyre, better known as Bomac, appeared in an interview with Fight Hub TV wearing a hat with the word GOAT. He made it very clear that he views Crawford as the greatest ever, and he credited not only Crawford's talent but also the entire team that helped him dominate 3 divisions.
Who you think's better out of those two, Crawford or Mayweather?
I think Crawford is better, bigger. He's actually he moved in weight class, and I would say Crawford is a better fight all around fighter.
Bomac didn't mince words about the comparison. For him, the debate is already settled. He said Crawford has gone beyond anything Floyd achieved inside the ring. Crawford himself, however, has shown a lot more restraint. After defeating Alvarez on the scorecards, he avoided direct comparisons with Floyd. He simply stated that Floyd was the best of his era, while he is the best of the present one. Crawford's message was respectful toward Mayweather, but fans and experts continue to stir the controversy, keeping the debate alive. Another point people raise is the timing of their victories over Canelo. Floyd beat a young, inexperienced Canelo back in 2013, while Crawford defeated a much older, far more seasoned version. That detail adds more weight to Crawford's achievement in the eyes of many. Still, Crawford himself doesn't seem overly interested in chasing a fight with Floyd. Instead, he is focusing on securing other competitive and legacy-building matchups. Around his 38th birthday, his hometown honored him with a massive celebration. A parade in Omaha drew tens of thousands of fans, turning the streets into a sea of color and noise as they honored their champion.
Lifetime moment following a once-in-a-lifetime fight.
.42-0, waving to the crowd, pumping his fists like he does so well.
And a kid on his lap, I love it. Guys, I'm having a hard time hearing you, but it's hard to hear anything because it is loud. The city of Omaha is out. Bud Crawford,
what's yours? My opinion is I like who I like. You know, I like Roy Jones, Floyd Mayweather, Renell Whitaker. I'm liking Sugar Ray Leonard. I'm watching a little bit of Sugar Ray Leonard. James Tony. They my top guys that I've been watching.
The homecoming celebration felt like a hero's coronation. Families lined the streets, children waved flags, and the entire city showed up to celebrate their boxing icon. For many, the day was a once-in-a-lifetime event, because very few fighters in history have become undisputed champions across multiple divisions. Yet, even in the middle of the joy, there were questions about whether Crawford's victory over Canelo might have been the last major fight of his career. In interviews, Crawford explained that for him, boxing has always been about passion and legacy, not just big paychecks. He recalled times when critics doubted his career, saying he was broke or washed up, but Crawford made it clear he always fought because he loved the sport, not because he needed money. In those same interviews, Crawford spoke passionately about how he wants to be remembered. He painted a picture of future generations, 100 years from now, still talking about the kid from Omaha who moved up not just 1 or 2 but 3 weight divisions and beat Canelo Alvarez. He said with conviction that his name will continue to be spoken long after he's gone, because that's what true legacy means to him. Crawford's vision is not just about wins and belts, but about writing a chapter in boxing history that will never be forgotten.
Mayweather's really good too, though. You can't knock him as well. He's very talented. It would have been a tough fight, but I think Crawford would have the edge over Mayweather because of the long arms and because he's bigger. You know what I'm saying? And he would have kept him at bay. It would have been hard for Mayweather to counter, maybe. But Mayweather's definitely a technician. I mean,
those words resonated deeply with his fans. For the people of Omaha and the state of Nebraska, the parade was more than a celebration of a fight, it was a celebration of their identity and pride. Crawford has become more than just an athlete to them, he is a symbol of resilience and success. That's why his victory over Canelo was not only his triumph but also theirs. It was a shared moment of achievement, and on that day, his city truly stood as his co-author in the story of his career. White heavy checkmark. That's interviews 9 to 16 expanded. Do you want me to move on and complete the final section with interviews 17 to 24 expanded?
Crawford against Mayweather, right? How do you think a fight between both of them turn out?
If Mayweather gets hit with Crawford like I hit him and rocked, it might not end well for Mayweather. They might be over it. But Mayweather could outbox Crawford, I think, because Crawford has the mindset that I'm trying to knock you out, and Mayweather knows how to play to that I'm trying to knock you out type of thing. Because he's used to people coming at him trying to hit him hard all the time.
Even with all the glory surrounding Crawford right now, many fans are still curious about his next step. After beating Canelo, the obvious question became, will he retire on top, or is there another big fight waiting? Crawford has been careful with his words, hinting that he may only have a couple of fights left in him. At 38 years old, he knows time is not on his side, but he also knows the value of choosing the right fight. He doesn't want just any opponent, he wants a matchup that adds to his legacy, not just his bank account.
What's yours? My opinion is I like who I like. You know, I like Roy Jones, Floyd Mayweather, Bernard Whitaker. I'm liking Sugar Ray Leonard. I've been watching a little bit of Sugar Ray Leonard. James Tony. You know, they my top like guys that I've been watching. You know?
Some names have been thrown around repeatedly, and one of them is Gervonta "Tank" Davis. Fans have imagined a showdown between Crawford's size, experience, and technical brilliance against Davis's raw power and speed. While there's a noticeable difference in weight classes, Crawford hasn't completely dismissed the possibility. In fact, he once mentioned that if the numbers made sense and the fans demanded it, he would consider giving Tank the chance. That simple comment alone sent the boxing world into a frenzy, with debates exploding on whether Davis could handle someone as seasoned as Crawford.
Change the game like Floyd Mayweather.
He mastered the art of knowing when to fight somebody and when not to fight somebody. I mean, that he's the best in that game. He's the best in, making money and making all the, the huge fights happen. But why? Because he was timing every single one of them. He never fought nobody really in their prime. He always
after junior lightweight. Junior lightweight.
He changed the game in the worst way possible. You're right. Everybody's trying to protect their own. I had
a lot of the stuff that Canelo was doing, and that I would say this, that work from Boots helped in that aspect because Canelo was reacting to a lot of the counters that Crawford was throwing. Usually in the past, Canelo would stand right there. He would lunge and he would stay in place, keep his feet in place. However, Canelo...
Another name that keeps surfacing is Jaron "Boots" Ennis, one of the most promising young fighters in the sport. Boots has openly called out Crawford, saying the fans deserve to see that fight before Crawford hangs up his gloves. Ennis has the hunger and the skills, but he lacks the experience at the elite level that Crawford has mastered. Still, many believe this could be a perfect passing of the torch fight. For Crawford, taking on a fighter like Ennis would be risky, but it could also cement his reputation as a champion willing to fight the very best of the next generation.
It's wild, because if you look at Floyd's resume, it's much deeper than Crawford's. And Floyd was faster and he had a better defense and all that stuff. But Floyd picked and chose when he fought guys, especially once he left lightweight. He wiped out the junior lights, bring him. Lightweight, he jumps up to Jose Luis Castillo first thing. A lot of people think he lost the first fight.
On the flip side, some insiders have hinted that Crawford might be tempted by another mega payday against someone like Jake Paul. While many boxing purists dislike the idea, the reality is that Paul's massive social media following guarantees big money and attention. Crawford, however, has laughed off the suggestion, saying fights like that don't match what he stands for. To him, boxing has always been about competition at the highest level, not circus-like exhibitions. His stance has only increased the respect people have for him, because in an era where many fighters chase the biggest paycheck, he continues to focus on legacy.
Then he won the rematch. But once he left lightweight, he was careful about when he fought guys. So even though his resume is deeper with names, people remember, but he didn't want it with certain dudes at certain times. Crawford, we all witnessed, even though the resume is thin in certain ways, he wanted it with every...
Still, the lure of one final blockbuster cannot be ignored. Rumors have occasionally linked Floyd Mayweather to a comeback fight against Crawford. The idea of boxing's past and present colliding has fascinated fans for years, and if there's one fight that could generate historic levels of attention, it would be Crawford versus Mayweather. Both men have remained diplomatic, rarely calling each other out directly, but their fan bases have kept the fantasy alive. Even though it seems unlikely, just the possibility is enough to keep fans talking.
We've had a lot of comparisons between Terence Crawford and Floyd Mayweather. We've even had the conversation go as far as who would win in a fight between Terence and Floyd, and I truly don't know the answer to that question.
I do.
You do?
Yes.
Yeah. Who will win that fight?
Floyd.
Floyd will win that
yes,
fight.
Yes, sir. I love you, Terrence.
Always figures it out.
Yeah,
yes.
When Crawford reflects on his career, he often brings up the sacrifices he made to reach the top. He has spoken about growing up in Omaha, with limited resources, and how boxing gave him a path to something bigger. His journey wasn't easy, it was filled with doubts, injuries, and critics who said he would never make it. Yet, every time, he proved them wrong. Those memories fuel his current mindset. Whether he fights one more time or not, Crawford believes he has already shown enough to inspire kids from small towns everywhere to dream big.